Hello everyone and welcome to the next episode of the Let's Play TFTC Reimagined with Dev Commentary. I'm Angel and we're going to do Battle 5 Mission 2 today. Now this is the point of Reimagined where things really start deviating from the original in terms of the missions you're flying. Because really up until this point, apart from 3 or 4 missions where things have been radically redesigned, most of the missions have been pretty familiar, but just bigger in scope. There's some structural changes here and there, and obviously all the different dialogue and story write-up.
Maybe hiding. Luckily, you are in for a treat.
But yeah, this is where I think it starts showing that my mission designing started sort of gaining a lot more confidence in what I was prepared to do in changing Reimagined, or reimagining DIE Fighter
with its new.
So the original Battle 5 has 5 missions, and in this case from Reimagined it has 4 missions. So if you remember in Battle 3 I actually combined 2 missions into one, and sort of combine the elements of those two. This will happen again here and again going forward as well.
We need to try
several times, I think,
as much as possible before Lord Vader arrives.
Because this conflict is kind of escalating here, and because of the original technical limitations of TIE Fighter, you had to kind of spread these out over several missions.
Of up to half of his entire.
So pretty much.
This will make taking him down in the
classic Battle 5 Mission 2 to 5 is all pretty much centered around engaging, first engaging a resupply operation for the Protector, then taking on several of his TIE Advanced, and then taking on the Protector itself and trying to capture Harkov. I feel like I'm missing a mission there at some point. Let's see. I'm just going to open up the editor here and have a quick check.
For reinforcements, and our strike team will hyper in. Both you and the strike team.
That's a supply convoy.
Concussion missiles and torpedoes. Compliments of Grand Admiral Zarin. His dedicated research and development efforts for the Empire.
So the second mission is supposed to be locate Admiral Harkov, but you do straight away, so essentially. It's basically an inspection mission where you arrive at the platform and see the Protector, and you just do an inspection, and of course, there he is. So yeah, this one, Harkov Fleet Recon, this is the first time I use the full extent of the X-Wing Alliance region system, so you can have up to 4 regions you can jump to in X-Wing Alliance. Up until this point, we've only used 2. Our starting region and our destination region. But this is the first time I've really wanted to use all 4. So this is Battle 5 Mission 2 Classic is essentially completely redesigned into this one, where we have to try and find Harkov, but it made a lot more sense to try and use all 4 regions here to do some proper scouting. So we're going to jump from region to region until we find him, essentially.
Many of his TIE Advanced squadrons as possible.
But we will not find him at the Rebel platform as we do in Classic. Instead, we're going to find him somewhere else. And
the escort carrier Tropsabor.
If you remember Battle 2 Mission 5 Classic, which was to defend the Tropsabor from attacks from Demok and Ripperblus forces, this time we're going to be the ones attacking the Tropsabor and destroying it.
Once the Tropsabor has been destroyed,
and this also has the benefit of combining into, I think, Battle 5 Mission 4 Classic, where we want to eliminate some of Harkov's starfighter defenses, especially his supply of TIE Advanced. So we're kind of combining some of these mission elements here, of scouting for and taking on his fighter forces at the same time with a quick strike. Because we don't have the firepower to take on his whole fleet yet. So yeah, this really changes up the story and the flow of the missions here, I think. And of course, this is our first time flying the TIE Advanced, I should have mentioned. Beautiful model design. I already explained in the previous video, I think, the different versions of the TIE Advanced, the Mark 1, Mark 2, but here we are. This is the Mark 1 version, with the rounded cockpit. As I said, this should be a Mark 2 at this point, but yeah. That has a more hexagonal one, but this is a beautiful redesign by DTM. It's got this kind of TIE interceptor look at the front with the elongated solar panels, and then at the back it's a bit shorter. It looks mean. It looks like it means business. The new cockpit is great. because you can see the actual wingtips, whereas in the older version you couldn't. Just adds to that sense of immersion. So yeah, it's a great craft, and we're finally in a TIE that has shields and hyperdrive. It's fast, it's fun to fly. So the first region there had nothing. So I think that's fine, nothing to see here. Let's move to the next one. And then we're on to the next region where, okay, what's going on here? We've got a convoy. It seems to be a, civilian convoy, and under attack by pirates. Now, this is one of the, probably the only examples of, I say branching narrative, what's the word? A sort of dynamic aspect to the mission here, where you don't have to help them here. This is entire player choice moment here, where you either help the civilians, or you can just, because the nav buoy for the next jump point is there, you can just go if you want. Just avoid the fire from the incoming pirates and bugger off. But most people are probably going to want to help the convoy and engage the pirates, even though it's not a mission objective. And it's also a way to showcase the power of the TIE Advance. We've only got one wingman with us. This is a pretty small mission in this case, so just 2 TIE Advanced against I can't remember the name of that mission, the Slave 1 type ship, and half a dozen Toscan fighters and a couple of Murian transports. We're outnumbered 3 to 1 here at least, outgunned certainly, but this is the power of the TIE Advance. It's so maneuverable, it's so fast that we just go to town on these guys with ease. Who are not, because if we were just in a pair of TIE fighters or gunboats, then yeah, this might have been a different story potentially, but So yeah, it's also in a way gives the player their first real sort of taste of the TIE Advance, what it can do in a situation that's not too challenging, so they can get used to the way it maneuvers, the way it fires. Yeah. But as I said, this is entirely not necessary. And I wish, in a way, this could be a bit more prevalent in the games, where you don't have to do these kind of little side things of helping people, or if you did, it leads into the narrative or affects the narrative in some way, so consequences to your actions. But unfortunately, because of the limited, completely linear way debriefings work, there's no room for adding this kind of variety into TIE Fighter. Be nice if it did, but it would also add a hell of a lot more work to our jobs if we were to start adding branching narratives. I think suddenly the scope of the Reimagined project would jump in size dramatically, and it would take a lot longer to make. Certainly you wouldn't have gotten TIE Fighter released, or TFTC rather, released in July of last year. But hey ho, we work with what we've got. So there we go, the pirates are dealt with. Get some bonus points for doing that. You can inspect the convoy here, there's no real need to do it, you just get some more bonus points. I tend not to bother, just doing it here for the sake of it. So yeah, let's move on to the final region, where I'm sure we'll find something of interest, won't we? And obviously if you've engaged in combat here, you've got a moment to charge up your shields and lasers for the next segment. And here he is.
We found him.
I spent a bit of time working on this visual here.
Reinforcements are on their way.
The planet in the background is actually one of the older planets. It's not actually a particularly high resolution one, but I actually find it kind of works for the whole colour scheme I've gone here, which is this kind of yellow nebula. That asteroid background we've used before for the DMOC weapons outpost. But yeah, well, I just kind of accidentally actually just the idea of having the sun in partial eclipse against the planet there. And I think that really works quite well. We're really close to the planet here. It's a sort of Venus type planet. Got some asteroids, and we see the bulk of well, we see all of Harkov's fleet here. We engage some TIE Advance, we call for reinforcements, we spend about a minute or two dogfighting here before the strike force arrives. You don't want to get too close to the fleet itself, otherwise you tend to start getting swarmed by TIE Advance, so keep your distance. And here's the strike force. Got a whole squadron of gunboats and 2 assault transports here.
Beginning attack run on escort carrier troops aboard. Scout 1, help give us...
Now the only real point of failure here is you don't have a lot of time to destroy the trops aboard. I think it's relatively easy to do on medium, but on hard difficulties this can be a bit more challenging. You've basically got about 3 minutes, I think, to destroy the trops aboard, or it jumps away. Because as soon as this reinforcement group arrives, the entire task, Harkov's entire fleet starts moving to jump. And you do need to help sort of protect the attack force as well, because as you can see here, you've got a squadron of TIE Advance coming in. Beautiful. And there's the trops already taking some damage, but you can see how quickly it's moving to its hyper point. Same with the other capitals.
Incoming missile.
I think there's some bonus points for inspecting the other ships here as well, or maybe attacking them, I can't remember. Yeah, I kind of like this kind of inverse, that we're destroying the trops aboard instead of protecting it, like we did in the classic campaign in Battle 2. Yeah, this all accomplishes several points of reducing his fighter strength, reducing his fleet strength, and basically wearing him down. And there we go, it's dead.
Excellent work. The trops aboard has been destroyed. Return to the task force immediately.
Yeah, inspection is the bonus goals here. I think we can afford to fly around for a bit. Enjoy the beautiful visuals. Get shot at. There they go. Bye bye. Took a while to get that working just right for the when they leave. Testing can sometimes be a bit of a chore, especially if it's a long mission, or you have to go through several things first in order to get to a final trigger, because you have to play all the way through to get to that trigger in order to test it. There's no obviously midpoint saves, or I can just jump into a certain point, and so sometimes a lot of times it's just taking up testing to get to a point in the mission that you want to check works properly.
Work, Scout 1. With the destruction of the trops aboard, Harkov will have lost a significant portion of his starfighters.
So there we go. Back to our little task force here. Sitting in the middle of nowhere.
We successfully located Harkov's fleet and destroyed the escort carrier Tropsabor. Though many of his TIE Advance still survived the attack, he will still have lost up to 50% of his fleet's starfighter complement, so Harkov's fleet should be far more vulnerable to an attack in the future. Despite his fleet jumping away, we believe we have a good idea where he might be headed next, as our other scouting teams reported a possible rebel base in a nearby sector.
So yeah, that's just me trying to tie in how Harkov ends up at the rebel platform. Just that one of our other scouting teams found the rebel platform, and based on hyperspace vectors and where we think Harkov is going to go next, it's there. Hello, Mr. Pash Fairchild. So he wants us to come join us in his squadron. On the Imperial Star Destroyer Benevolent. Who names a Star Destroyer Benevolent? It doesn't sound like an appropriate name for a Star Destroyer. Ah, whatever. Okay, so yeah, that was Harkov Fleet Recon. Join me next time for Battle 5 Mission 3. And until next time, good hunting.